Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's episode, I'm going to be going ahead and building out this fully functional digital marketing agency website that you guys can go ahead and use for your own personal website, personal businesses, or whatever else you want. I'm going to be showing you how I built this website from start to finish using Shopify UI, Next.js, TailwindCSS, and a new animation library called Aceternity UI. I'm going to take you from start to finish, so if you have no idea how to code, this is your first kind of intro video, it's all going to make sense. So don't worry about that. I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into a demo so you guys can see what I built. So right along the top we have a navbar. The navbar is going to provide a bit of a hover animation. So when you hover over something, it's going to become a bit of a lighter color. Also, when we reload the website, you're going to see that we actually have a spotlight animation. I'm going to be showing you how I built this as well as we're going to have a contact with a shimmer animation going on the right here. Then we're going to have some text right here, as well as a slider. And the slider is just going to kind of rotate through pictures. You guys can go ahead and add however many you want. I'm going to be showing you how I built that from scratch. Then we're going to have more text right here, kind of outlining what the agency does, projects that they worked on. I'm going to be showing you how to change this to your own, and really whatever else you want. Then the next section is going to be a graphic design section. I'm going to again be using Aceternity UI to kind of display these cards so that it can kind of like make your website stand out a bit more when you're trying to capture those leads. Then the next thing I want to show you is Shopify Stores. So if you're a digital marketing agency, it's a very common thing to come across is people asking you to build them Shopify stores. And so I thought I would make a section devoted to just kind of talking about this. So again, I'm going to be showing you how I built this. I'm going to show you how to add in these custom images, how to make these quotes, and again, how to kind of have everything lined up exactly like this. So it looks a little bit more kind of fun, modern sort of style approach. The next part we're going to have is brands. So these are just going to be images that you can go ahead and upload, and people can kind of see who or what you guys have done, projects, that sort of stuff. Here I'm going to be showing you how to do a custom font, so different to what we're using for the rest of the application. I'm going to be showing you, yeah, pretty much this. Then the next thing I want to show you is this kind of card hover effect. So it's very nice, it's very modern, and it's very sleek. It kind of talks about, or it kind of is inside of what we're talking about with the services. So you do website design, e-commerce stores, authentication, and whatever else you really want to put there. And then of course we're also going to have a frequently asked questions section at the bottom. So you can go ahead and put whatever you want. So that is that. We're also going to have a book a call session. So the book a meeting, I should say. The book a meeting page is going to open up a calendar. I'm going to be showing you how to create your own calendar and also how to implement it into this website, so you guys can actually take meetings and close that sale pipeline as fast as possible. Then I'm also going to be showing you a pricing. So the pricing is going to be a super modern and super sleek kind of approach. You're going to see that we have 3 different cards as well as different I guess features throughout, as well as we're also going to have a fully functional Stripe checkout. So I'm going to be showing you how to build or how to create your own payment link so that you guys can actually add this to your website. So again, really kind of emphasizing that you want to capture these leads as fast as possible, and I'm also going to, yeah, so pretty much just that. So then we're going to have 2 different products. We're going to have the $4.99 one as well as this $1,300 one that people can actually check out and you guys can actually get paid. The enterprise one, it's also going to conditionally render this contact us badge right here. So it's the only one out of the array that's going to have this. Then if I click contact us, it's going to take us to a contact page. This is very similar to what we built out in the Notion clone with the contact page. I really like this one. I feel like it's very modern and it does a really good job of kind of capturing the details. It's very easy to understand and it's not too long. So if I go ahead and I actually fill this stuff out, I'm going to go ahead and put these values. So I'm going to say, hey, this is a intro. And then I'm going to go ahead and click submit. I'm actually going to show you that we're going to make this fully functional. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh this in my inbox. And there you go. So you can see that we actually have the values that I just submitted inside of my Gmail. And again, kind of re-emphasizing that you want people to reach out to you, you want to talk to them, and you guys kind of want to take your agency to the next level. So, I mean, if you like what you saw here in this intro, I'm going to just jump right into building it. And of course, if you could please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, it would help me out a lot, as well as the Discord. If you can jump in the Discord, it's free. I'm in here all the time, kind of answering questions, talking to people. So if this is, if you're kind of interested in this project, let's just jump right into a video. So this is going to be the first thing that we're going to search up. It's going to be called Aceternity UI. Head to the docs, click on installation, Next.js, and then this is going to be the command line that we're going to use to create our project. So I'm going to open up VS Code. I'm going to open up a terminal here, and I'm going to say this command line. So I'm going to say, let's see. So npx creates next app at latest. I'm going to say TypeScript. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let's see if I'm zooming in. All I'm doing is I'm literally just copy and pasting this here. So TypeScript, we're going to use Tailwind. So do dash dash Tailwind, and then we're going to say dash dash ESLint. So just like this, all on one line. And then I'm going to go ahead and click enter. So what is the name of your project? So I'm just going to call it, what should I call this? Website YouTube video. It doesn't have to be this long for you guys, but I have a lot of folders, so this is going to help differentiate. So would you like to use the source directory? I'm going to say no. It's going to say app router is going to say yes, and then I'm going to say no for the import alias. Give this a second to load here. I'm going to go ahead and say cd website YouTube video, and I'm going to start working inside of the folder. So you're going to see that right here. And then I'm going to copy and paste this command line. So I'm going to say that. All right, I'm going to say default slate. Would you like to use the CSS colors? I'm going to say yes. Awesome. And now I'm going to go ahead and open up this folder. So website YouTube video, I'm going to go ahead and click open. And I'm going to, again, open up another terminal. And I'm going to say npm run dev. So it looks like I have something running in localhost 3000, and I need to end that. Let's see. Go ahead. Let's try this again. I'm gonna try to minimize this here. Okay, I'm gonna try to kill the terminal so that you guys have the same thing. So I'm gonna say npm run dev again. So sorry about that, you guys, a little hiccup there. Then I'm gonna go ahead and search this up. So I'm gonna say localhost 3000, and we should see our project. And there it is. Perfect. The next thing that we're going to want to go ahead and do is we're just going to jump into the page.tsx, and we're going to delete everything inside of the main. And then I'm going to say div. I'm just going to say hi, like that. Okay, so it's going to take a second to load here. Let's just refresh, and then we can see we have the hi. That is awesome. The next thing that we want to go ahead and do is go into our layout.tsx. Instead of using the inter font, I want to use Poppins. So like that. And then where it says const inter, change it to const font. And then I'm going to say Poppins. And then it's saying we're going to need a weight as well. So I'll show you the error. It says missing weight for font. And then we will quickly add that. So I'm going to say weight. And then this has to be a string. So I'm going to say 400. And you're going to see that the error is going to go away. The font is going to change a little bit. Okay, so const inter is not defined. So down here, go ahead and change that to font. So the reason why we were getting the error is because I changed this name. It originally was inter, but I changed it to font. So you're going to see that. And then this is going to be the font that we're going to be using in our production as well. So you're not really going to notice a difference just right now, but you will in a bit. Okay, this is good. Now the next thing that we're going to want to go ahead and do is go into we have our globals.css, which is nice. We can go ahead and actually start adding in some stuff. So head to this website called Aceternity UI. I don't know why it opened like that. Aceternity, all the way down here. This is going to be our, I guess, component library that we're going to be using alongside Shopify UI to kind of help build out some animations for our project. So the ones that you guys see here, I'm going to reload this. You're going to see like a spotlight and everything. That's going to be that's going to be built using this as well. We're also going to have some kind of cards effect here, as well as just, other stuff in general. This one is also going to be built using this component library. So the first thing that we were going to want to go ahead and do is let's go down and let's find the animation that we want to use. I want to use the spotlight one first. So I'm going to install these dependencies. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my thing again. And what I like to do is I like to have personally 2 terminals running at the same time. I'm going to just paste it like that. So I have the one running my project, and then I have one where I can go ahead and install dependencies. Okay, so it's going to say add a util file. So one thing that we already have is we already have our util file done, which is very nice. Shopify UI added this. We didn't code any of this. Okay, and then I'm going to go into the components. I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it UI. And then I'm going to create a file called spotlight.tsx. Spotlight.tsx. The reason why we're doing that is because it tells us here. So inside our components, create a folder called UI and Spotlight, so on and so forth. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy and paste this. So copy, and I'm going to paste this like that. And then you're going to go ahead and I'm going to close this. You're going to get an error saying that this CN is not being properly configured, which is true because we have it in a different route. So I'm going to say .lib, and then I'm going to say utils like that, and then the error is going to go away. The way that we know that is because the first sign in this is going to be an @ sign, and then we're in the lib folder, and then this is the utils file, and then we're exporting it from here. So if we go back, make sure you change this, and then it will be good to go. Now the next thing that we're going to want to go ahead and do is you're going to see that it says copy the highlighted spotlight animation into your tailwind.config.js. We have a tailwindconfig.ts, and to save time in this video, I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste everything from the GitHub repository. So that way we don't waste too much time. And I'm just going to quickly explain the different animations that we're going to be using. So if I close this back up and I kind of have these side by side, see if we can kind of look at it. Pretty much all I did there is I added some animations, so the spotlight and the shimmer, and then I added in the keyframes here. And so this is actually what's going to control our animation. So when we call spotlight, it's going to come from here as well. All right. So with that being said, we can actually begin to start seeing some stuff. So let's jump into building out the kind of first component, which is going to be the kind of homepage navbar sort of section. Okay, so let's go back into our page.tsx and let's actually start styling some stuff. So let's say class name. I'm gonna close the sidebar here. We're gonna say width full. MD, the items are gonna be centered. On MD, we are also going to have a justify center. The BG is going to be black, and then we're going to do something like this. So do a slash. So BG black slash 0 or bracket 0.96, and then we're gonna say antilicize. I don't even know what this word is. We're gonna say BG grid white, and then we're going to say slash. It's going to be 0.02, and then we're going to say relative as well as overflow is going to be hidden, just like that. And now if we go back and we refresh, okay, looks like that, which is good. We can go ahead and actually create our navbar. So let's do navbar, just like that. And as of right now, it hasn't been built yet, so we're going to go ahead and do that now. So what we want to go ahead and do is go into our components folder, and we want to go ahead and create a, we could do it in the UI. It doesn't necessarily matter too much here. Just kind of differentiate here. So do navbar, and then I'm going to show you, I'm also going to be using this package called, where is it? It's by Vercel. Gonna go ahead and quickly find it for you guys. So this one, simple React snippets. Oh, sorry. What just happened there? Go ahead and install this. We're going to be using it to code a bit faster. So I'm going to go back into my navbar. So here, I'm going to say SFC, and then I'm going to say navbar, and then I'm going to do tab, div is going to be high, and then I'm going to say this. I'm going to go back into my page.tsx, and I'm actually going to import this navbar now. So like that. So it's going to be coming from @components navbar. So that's the way I have it. I didn't put it in the UI. I put it in its own folder. And there we go. So if I move everything back to the side, I'm going to say, let's do class name is going to be text white. Let's just see what this looks like. And there we go. So we now have our hi appearing right there. Okay. So I'm going to close this up again. Make sure we kind of have both are visible. So first thing that we're going to want to go ahead and do is we're going to say this. So we can go div, so do like that. And then inside of here, let's go ahead and create another div. And I'm going to say class name, padding is going to be 6. On a medium size screen, the padding is going to be 10. We're going to do flex, items is going to be center, justify between, and then we're going to have a Z of 50. Then we're going to say div, this is going to be an empty div, say div. Actually, this is not going to be a div, this is going to be a link. So this is going to be where our logo is. So link, class name, we're going to do cursor pointer, and then the href is going to be pointing back to that. And then I'm going to go ahead and say image, next image, and then I'm going to say priority. So I'm going to make sure that it gets loaded no matter what. Logo, alt, width, height, and we can do a class name of width 10, height of 10, and then MD width of 14, as well as a MD of height of 14. Alrighty, so now if we go back, we're going to get this error because we don't actually have a logo. So let's go ahead and let's get one. We're going to go ahead and head to this website called logoipsum.com, and then we're going to go ahead and just download a bunch of logos. So in this case, you can go ahead and pick anyone you want. For this project, I went ahead and I used this one. So let's just go ahead and quickly find it. It's right here, and there we go. So I have it downloaded, and I'm going to go ahead and create inside of my public folder. I want to go ahead and we could do, let's just call it logo, and then let's go ahead and import this. So make sure I have this open. Again, I need to have this on the other side of the screen. Sorry about this, guys. So just like that. And then you can pretty much just drag and drop. So logo, drag and drop, and then it's right here. The next thing I want to do is I want to change this to logo. So public logo, logo.svg. Make sure you have it like that. Then what I need to do is I need to point to this. So logo, just like that. And then if I go back to our thing, you guys can see what it looks like. And then once we change the size of what we're viewing the browser in, it looks different. Alrighty, so that's that there. Now we want to go ahead and say div again. So we'll close this up. So I'm going to say div. Again, I'll switch sides. So we're going to say div, and then I'm going to say class name. I'm going to do cursor pointer. We're going to make this hidden for screens that are going to be smaller than a medium. So we're going to say MD flex, and then I'm going to say space x10. I'm going to say items are going to be centered, and the text is going to be a slate of 300, so it's going to be kind of gray. We're gonna say text center, and then let's see what else I got. So here, we're going to text center, just like this. Then I want to say BG clip text, like that. I'm going to say text transparent, BG gradient to bottom, so to be like this. I'm going to say from a neutral color of 50, from neutral 50 to neutral 500 or 400. What is, okay, 400. And then I want the BG opacity to be 50. Okay, so there, you won't be able to see anything yet. I'm going to break this up into a couple of lines so you guys can see it, just like that. Okay, so we have this now. And now what we can do is we can go ahead and say div, and then I'm going to say website design. Just like that. And now, again, once I go to a medium-sized screen, you're going to start seeing that we have website design, and then there's a nice gradient as well. Okay, so we can go ahead and say class name. We're going to have on hover, I want there to be kind of like a glowing effect, so I'm going to make the text a bit lighter. I'm going to say gray 50, like this. And then I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this 3 more times. So paste, paste, paste. So now it should look like this. Awesome. And we can go ahead and just say graphic design. We're going to add in more functionality a bit later. So where we're going to be able to like scroll down just by clicking on something, we're going to add that towards the end of the project. But for right now, we're just going to leave it like this. So graphic design, Shopify Stores. What else do we have? We have brands. And yeah, that should work. The next thing that we want to go ahead and do is underneath here, I want to do a link. And so this is going to be for our pricing page. So instead of saying contact, I'm going to say pricing. And I'm going to say class name, same thing. So hover text is going to be gray 50. And then I want to say pricing. Make sure I not like that. Make sure I close the link tag just like this. And if I go back into our project, I'm going to see that we have website, graphic design, Shopify Store brands, as well as pricing. And so if I click on pricing, you're going to see that I'm going to get redirected, which is perfect. But we don't have this page right now, so we don't need to worry about it. But we can go ahead and continue developing. So let's go back to this. Let's see. And here, what we need to go ahead and do is add in this button, the align justify button, as well as the contact. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So here, underneath this link, I want to go ahead and say div class name flex MD is going to be hidden. And I want to, okay, close this here. I want to conditionally render something if it's visible. So to do that, I want to go back to the very top, and I want to go ahead and say, I want to create some states. So I want to say const, we're going to say is drop down visible, like this. We're going to say set is drop down visible, and the use state is going to be false, so that's going to be the first one. So when we're using use state, the first thing that we need to do is we need to put use client at the top. And then we need to say import use state. So import use state from React, just like this. Okay. Then I want to go ahead and say const toggle dropdown. And then I want to do the opposite. So if it is visible, when I click on it, I want it to become not visible, and then vice versa. So when I say const close dropdown, I want it to be closed. So pretty much what we're doing right here is we're building out the functionality for this to happen. So you can see if it's open, we're going to have an X. If it's closed, we're going to have this align justify. Okay. Now the next thing that we need to go ahead and do is we need to say is dropdown visible. So if it is, so there's a question mark, we're going to go ahead and say motion which is going to be something that, let's go ahead and actually just import that right away. So I'm going to say import, it's going to be, I think it's, yeah, like this, motion from framer motion. So this is going to be the div that's going to allow us to style, as well as we can also import lucid React icons. So this is going to be something that we already have because we did the installation with Aceternity UI, but we can just say import align justify, and then we can say the X icon. And I don't know why I have that extra bracket there, just remove that if you have it, but this is perfect like this. Okay, so here we're gonna go back and we're gonna say is dropdown. So this is pretty much, yeah, so what we just had there showing on the screen is pretty similar to what we need. So I'm gonna say, let's do a comment, why not? We'll just say display an X. You don't have to put this if you don't want to, when the dropdown is visible. Then I want to say, we don't even need framer motion, to be honest with you here. We could just do div, something like this. Toggle dropdown. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, we don't even need framer motion here. We will need it in a second though. So div, and then we're going to say on click. We're going to say toggle dropdown. Class name is going to be width of 8, height of 8, and I'm going to say text slate 300. I'm going to say cursor is going to be pointer, and then I'm going to include the X icon. So just like that, which we've already imported, and I'm underneath this one, I'm going to say drop down menu, and it's going to have a prop called on close, which is going to accept the function close dropdown. And then here, I just have to close this div like that, and then we need to have the opposite. So we need to handle the condition if it is open, so, or if it is not open. So here we go. So I'm going to say align the justify like this. Again, we've already imported this. I'm going to say on click. We're going to do toggle dropdown, and then I'm going to style it as well. So the exact same styling I had here. We don't have this component yet, so if you have an error right now, if we go back, you're going to see this, which is completely fine. But let's just go ahead and let's wrap this up. So let's close the align justify here, and let's close that as well, and there we go. So you may or may not see this depending on how sensitive your browser is you're working with, but the drop-down menu is not visible, so it's not defined. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to close back out of this, see if we can get this to appear. So let's go ahead and let's actually create the drop-down menu. So let's go back into components. Let's create a new file. I'm going to call it dropdownmenu.tsx, like that. And we're going to go ahead and say this. So SFC, I'm going to say drop down menu. I'm going to say div. I'm going to say hi. I'm going to go back to the navbar, and I'm actually going to import this. So let's see if it picks up. Most likely will not, but okay, it does, which is nice. And there we go. So the drop-down menu is where it's imported from. So it's from dot slash drop-down menu because it's just in the next file. Yeah, I guess just in the next file, literally. So there we go. And one thing about this one is it includes a on close. So let's go back into our drop-down menu and let's actually use this. So we can say drop-down menu. We're going to have some props. So first thing we can do this is where we're going to need our framer motion. So I'm going to say import motion from framer motion. Yeah, I don't know why it keeps doing that. Import our link. So this is going to help us when the thing is open, like this, how we have it here. If I click on pricing, it's actually going to take me to the pricing page. So that's why we need the link. Then I'm going to say interface drop-down menu props, and then we're going to have we don't need the boolean, but we just need an on close. So on close like this, and then like that. So interface drop-down menu props, on close is going to be void. Then we're going to say this, so const drop-down menu, a react.fc, drop down menu props, and then we're going to have our on close here. Okay, fantastic. And then now let's actually start styling this thing. So first thing we can do is we can just say motion.div. We can do this as well. So we'll do motion.div. .div like that. Okay. See, let's do class name is going to be, we're going to have a bunch of classes here. So we're going to say width screen. We're going to do a height of, like the screen is going to be the entire height. We're going to have a BG gradient. It's going to be 2B, exactly like this. So I'm going to do this. Okay. And then I'm going to say text slate 300, padding of 6, space is going to be Y4, and then we're going to have a absolute as well as a top of 28, left is going to be 0, and the right is going to be 0, and as well as a Z of 50. And then let's round the top to 3XL. So go back to our finished product on mobile. You're gonna see that this is rounded here. I kind of like this design, so I'm gonna keep it like that. But yeah, you can do whatever you want there. Then what we need to go ahead and do is, so outside of the string, but still inside of the motion div. So make sure that you're outside of these quotation marks right here. You go ahead and you say initial, and we're going to say equals, we're going to do curly bracket, opacity is going to be 0 like this, and then I'm going to say y is going to be negative 80%. So make sure you have this right here. So this is going to be what's going to create the kind of like hover, like down effect. You can kind of, again, you're going to see how it goes down like that. All right, we're going to have an animate. We're going to have an opacity. We're going to have a of 1, and then we're going to have a y of not negative 0, but just 0. Exit is going to be opacity is going to be like this, and then we're going to say transition is going to last 0. Again, make sure you have double brackets there. 0.5. I'm going to space this out so you guys can see it. So it's going to last half a second. You guys can obviously make it longer if you want. But yeah, you can kind of start seeing it kind of come together here now. So it's very, very small, very, very faint, but it's going down like that. All right, then what we need to do is inside of here, we can say div to do class name. We don't need flex. Yeah, let's do flex call. Flex space y of 10. And then I want to put the link. So pricing just like that. The text is going to be black on mobile, so text black, and it's going to be text is going to be 2XL. We're not going to have a hover, so we can just go ahead and remove this. So just keep it like that. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this 2 more times. So paste and paste. And so instead of going to pricing, here we're going to say contacts, change the text to contacts. And then here as well where it says book a call, we're going to just change this to book, as well as here we'll say book a call. And then we're going to be using Calendly to actually set up a calendar so that this can actually go into your calendar and people can actually book. Alrighty, so this is the drop down component complete. Looks pretty good. And again, you guys can kind of start seeing it kind of come together. Alrighty, so let's go back into our navbar now, and we can start adding some stuff. So we have the navbar here, and now what we need to do is close this div. So the div, yeah, wait a second. So underneath this div, sorry about this. So if you click on it, it will highlight and tell you where you need to be. So if I do that, outside of this div here, we need to go, so basically 2 from the bottom, go ahead and create another div. So let's say div like this, and then this is where we're going to have our like contact button. So let's say div Class name is going to be hidden. MD is going to be flex. And then I'm going to say a link. We're going to do pretty much this. So I'm going to delete that there. I'm going to say link like this. And our contact is going to, the actual class involved is going to be a lot. So what I want to go ahead and do here is I want to go back into Aceternity UI like that. And I want to go ahead and find the component. So show you exactly what I'm doing. Scroll to the very, very bottom. It's going to say TailwindCSS buttons. So click on one. And this is where, so this shimmer effect is where I'm going to get the classes. So I'm going to click on it, copy to clipboard, and I'm going to paste it. I don't know actually how this is going to look. Okay, it looks okay. So we have everything here. So just delete all of this because we've already added this in. But where we have these classes, so inline flex, H12, go ahead and just copy and paste that. And go back into our link where we just had this and just paste it there. So I hope that made sense. If not, let me know. But literally all I've done there is I just copied and pasted the class names when you copy and paste. So again, I'll just to repeat there, I just clicked it, went down, pasted it, removed all this, and then I just kept the classes. So right here inside this class name is what I kept. And yeah, there we go. So now we have the contact button, and we're going to have this effect. Once we go back, there we go. So you can kind of start seeing the animation appear here, as well as you have different stuff going on. And then these are centered. This looks really good right now. So again, if I refresh, everything looks pretty good to me. And it's, yeah, the same as what we have here. You can go ahead and make things a little bit more rounded if you want, but I think for right now, this is pretty good. Okay, so with that being said, that concludes our navbar. And we can jump into the actual hero section of the website, so this part right here. So let's go ahead and let's do that now. Okay, so now let's go ahead and let's build out the spotlight animation. First thing that we're going to go ahead and do is go into our page.tsx, so here. And then right below our navbar, we want to go ahead and say spotlight, like this. And then we're going to say class name. We're going to make it hidden for mobile screens. We're going to say MD is going to be flex. MD is going to be left 80, and then the MD is going to be negative top 80, so like that. And then the fill, the color is going to be white. So now if we go back, it's going to reload. Okay, so you're not going to be able to see anything just yet. Let's see what we can do to make this visible. See if we can add this to make this. See what this does. Let's see if we did H screen. Okay, so you can kind of see it coming together now. So when I added the H screen, you can kind of see the effect going in like that. This will look a lot better the more we develop this, but just for right now, keep the H screen, and then we can continue. So here where it says div, I want to go ahead and say class name, padding of 4, MX is going to be auto, and do relative Z10. The width is going to be full, padding top is going to be 10, the MD is going to be padding top of 32, as well as a PX of 2. Then I want to go ahead and say div, class name text for Excel, padding bottom is going to be 5, the text is going to be 7XL on medium-sized screens. Padding X is going to be 6, it's going to be text center, and then we're going to do this color right here. So where we've already, if we go back to our navbar, where we have this right here, we can go ahead and just copy and paste this. So this, where is it? BG clip text transparent from right there. So go back and let's just paste this right here. Okay, still can't see anything yet. What we need to go ahead and do now is we need to say, put a p tag here. We're going to say p do, oh wait, no, not a p tag here. We need to say the create, grow, and do this br. We can do manage your business. I'm going to do scale your business. Like that. And there you go. So you now have what it looks like right there. Okay. So what's the next thing I need to go ahead and do? Let's keep this off the side. So create and scale your business like that. And then we can go ahead and put our p tag now. So underneath this div, the one that we just created. If you're wondering what the BR here means, this is a line break. So this basically means that this will be one line and then this will be a second line. So if I were to remove this, I can show you what this looks like. So if I refresh here, it's going to look like that. But then once you get to a medium-sized screen, you're going to have something like this, and it's too big. So I'm going to put the line break back, and then we are going to have what we need. And the padding top 32 is a bit much now that I look at it. If we did like 24, I think it would look a little bit better. So let's just try, let's see. Okay, 24 doesn't, I don't know, let's do PT20 maybe? Yeah, I don't know. Okay, anyways, you can play around with it, see where you like it. But yeah, I just thought it was a little bit too high up. Okay, so now the next thing that we need to do is the p tag. So I will just copy and paste this because it's a bit easier. So right here, margin top of 4, text is going to be LG, font normal, max width is going to be LG, text centered, yada yada yada, and then it's going to look like this. So there we are. Okay, and now the next thing we need to do is we need to put our button. So this is going to be where we're actually going to book the call. So I'm going to import the link like this. So here I just have cursor pointer, flex item center, justify center, border rounded full, yada yada yada, some simple text, and then this is going to be a book a call. If I'm not mistaken, I believe I can do something like this. Don't know if this will work. I'm just quickly trying something out. But no, I just try to get the same shimmer effect as what I previously had, but I don't think, no, okay, never mind. So it won't work like that, but pretty much I just try to see if something could work right there, but it didn't. It's fine. And so with that being said, now if we reload our page, we can see that we pretty much have the same thing going on. The only thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that this spotlight actually is working. So let's go ahead and make it a bit bigger. So we go into our spotlight and let's go ahead and try to see and figure out what else we can change. So for the height, I want to change this to 49. So just like that. And then for the width, I want to change this to 18%. And then for the LG, I want this to be a width of 124. So now, if I'm not mistaken, this should look a little bit more centered. Let's see. Okay, we don't even have anything appearing, which is interesting. Let's see if we can quickly debug this. 18%. We got everything like that. Okay. Give me a quick second here to debug this and I will come back to you with an answer. After a little bit of debugging, I have kind of figured out that you can kind of play around with this a little bit. So if you go to Spotlight, for example, here where we originally had our values, I'm going to quickly change them back to what they were. You can, so this is supposed to be utils. You can pretty much see that it comes in like that. So go back to your Spotlight and change the values to this right here, and then you'll get the effect like this. So again, I'm going to reload, and it looks like that. And then if you want to go ahead, you can, so not here, but back into our navbar. Where is our, no, not our navbar, Spotlight. Here you can play around. Originally we had some like left 80 sort of stuff going on. So if I removed it, for example, it will look like that. So if I go back to left 80, so make sure you just have this. Left 80 looks like this. The next thing that I want to do, as I think I also have like a negative top here, you can remove that also. And you can make this width a lot bigger. So if I did like 100, for example, it looks like that. If I did 200, it looks like, should be, it gets increasingly larger sort of thing. You guys can kind of see how the shadow thickens. If I did, for example, let's say this as well, let's see what this looks like. In either case, let's just go back to like 400 sort of thing. So I think I'm going to stick with this. I think it looks pretty good. You can just pretty much just play around these values, see what you like. But yeah, there's no real wrong way of doing it. You can make this 200%, for example, 269. It looks like that. I think this actually looks honestly better than this. It kind of looks more complete in a way. I don't know, it's kind of sort of thing. Yeah, I like that a lot more. So I'm going to keep like this. But yeah, there's no real wrong way of doing this. You can literally just change it to whatever you want. But yeah, here's where you're going to be able to do it. So let's actually stick with this, and let's continue from this point on. And again, if you didn't already, make sure you have H screen, because if you don't have H screen, it looks like that. So we will just keep the H screen for now, and then we're going to remove it a bit later once we have more stuff. Okay, and then now underneath this book a call, we are going to have our slider. So I'm going to say div. It's going to be class name of width full. Again, let's move this back to the side so that we can kind of see what's going on. And again, I've hidden it. Another thing about the Spotlight is I've actually hidden it, so on the small size screens it's not visible. But if you were to remove it, for example, let's see what this looks like. This is what it would look like on mobile if you kept it. I don't really know how to feel about this, to be honest. So I don't know. I will keep it to how I had it originally. So I'll do hidden, and then I'm going to say MD of flex. So that way it's not there. But if you want, you guys can obviously play around with it. Then the next thing I need to do is go back and let's build a slider. So PT of 20, and I'm going to create a component called slider1. The reason why it's called slider1 is it kind of has to do with the naming convention of the package that we're going to be using. So make sure you have slider1 here. And we can go ahead and actually import this. So go into our components and let's create a slider. So here, I'm going to create a new folder and I'm going to call it, let's see, do we need a new slider? Just trying to think what would be best while we're doing this. Let's see. Yeah, we can just create a new component. So inside of our UI, let's create a new component called slider.tsx. We don't need a whole new folder for this, so I'm just going to delete this one. If you did create a folder, just go into your UI and then where your slider is. So here we're going to say import slider from React Slick, which is, we don't have this package yet, so we're going to install it. So let's just actually do this simultaneously. So go ahead and open up a terminal and say npm I React Slick. So just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and say import image from next image. And if you're still getting this issue, what you need to do is you need to declare it as a dev dependency. So copy and paste this right here and paste it again. And then you're going to see that this is going to go away. Then the next thing I want to do is I want to say import use media query from, again, a package that we do not have installed right now. It's going to be React Responsive. So we'll go ahead and say npmi React Responsive. Okay, and let's give this a second. And it went away, so we don't need to go ahead and do that. The next thing that we need to do is we need to import certain class names. So import slick-carousel, say slick like this, and then we're also going to do this as well. So make sure you have these two right here, exactly like this. So these are going to be CSS files that are going to help us style our slider. Then I want to say SFC, do slider1, which is the name of what we called it. And then I want to go ahead and start adding some stuff in. So first things is we're going to say, if it is on a medium-sized screen, we want it to essentially have some different breakpoints, right? So I'm going to show you what I mean by what I'm talking about. But pretty much here, so slider 1 is not defined. It's fine. If we go back to our production one, you're going to see that here we have 3 slides. So 1, 2, 3. And then if you go to a small size screen, you're going to see that it's just 1. And we need to essentially conditionally render that logic in this component. So it's not too complicated, and we've done it before, so I'm just going to kind of go over things. We're going to say is medium screen, like this. We're going to say use media, we can make sure this is a const. So const is medium screen, use media query. We don't want to do this. We want to say min width, like this, 768, and then we're going to say max width is going to be 1023. So these are the pixels, what we're referring to here, and then we're going to say for is small screen, this is going to be what we want. Then we want to say const settings is going to be an object, and so we're going to have no arrows, so arrows are going to be false. We're going to have infinitely scrolling, so like this is going to be set to true. Slides to show are going to be set to 3. You guys can obviously go ahead and put however much you want. I want an autoplay to happen, so I'm going to say autoplay is true. The speed is going to be we don't want it to be too slow, but I'm going to put it at 4,000. Autoplay speed is going to be 1,000. So let me go ahead and change this. Then I want to say pause. I don't want to put actually pause on hover. I had it in the production one, but I don't like it now that I looking back on it. So I'm going to say class name, and I'm going to have this class name. So the width is going to be full. It's going to be MX auto. We're going to have a cursor pointer, and then we're going to put it in center mode. And then we're going to close the object. So like that. Okay? And then I'm going to say if it is a medium sized screen, so if is medium, we're going to say settings.slides to show is going to be set not to 2 but 1.67, like that. And then we're going to put an else, so else if it is a small size screen, we're going to say settings set to, we're going to only show 1 slide. Okay, now we can go ahead and actually start displaying our slider. So I'm going to say slider like this, and make sure you separate your settings like this. And our slider is coming from React Slick, by the way, so hope this kind of makes sense. Slider, and then we are going to say, let's do this, make sure you have a closing tag. Here, what we need pretty much is almost exactly like what you see on the screen here, except we're going to be showing different images. So I'm going to show you what I did. So what I like to do is I like to do a empty React fragment. That way I kind of know when I'm changing something, like what it looks like. But I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste this here, and then you guys can kind of see what I did. So I did a rounded medium, so pretty much just to round the box. And then I put a little bit of a padding on it. And then for medium, I put an even bigger padding on it, so padding 10. That way the image is not too big. But what we need to go ahead and do is, so to actually see something while we're developing, let's actually just import this. So here, if I go back into my navbar, pretty much just go back to page.tsx, so slider 1, like this. Okay, now if I go ahead and I move to the side, we're going to see that we're going to say module can't resolve slick something like this. So what we need to do is we need to find out, so what we need to do is this. You're gonna say npmi, you're gonna say slick carousel, like that. So yeah, just do that. And then, if I'm not mistaken, this thing should go away. Looks like it did. Super expression must be null or a function. So I think what this is saying is that we need to have more images here, which is fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy and paste from the React fragment down again, like this. And let's see if it goes away. Super expression must be, this is a, let's see what's going on here. What we need is potentially, let's see, if I did, give me a second to debug this, but I'm not actually familiar with this one means. Yeah, okay, give me a sec. I was pretty much able to figure it out. What we need to add here at the top of this component is use client. So I'm gonna go ahead and repeat the same error I just had. So this was the error that we were getting. I went to the slider, I said like this, use clients, and then it fixed. So there you go. The next thing that I want to show you was pretty much here where I have these images. I can show you. Go to save. And pretty much what I did is I just copied and pasted some images. So I said images, and then I'm going to point it to, so you guys can go ahead and go into the GitHub repository and use the same images as if you'd like. But pretty much all I did is I just downloaded any images and then I'm going to populate them here. So business, make sure that this is the same one. So JPEG, here we can do a coffee shop, I think it's called. So I just put a coffee, we'll do JPEG, this one, and then you can actually start seeing some stuff load here. So now here's the reason why we're not able to scroll down is because we have this H screen. So let's go ahead and let's remove the H screen. So now you're going to be able to have you're going to be able to have a navigation here on the side. So you can start seeing some stuff like that. Okay, now we'll go back into slider 1 and we can go ahead and start posting more pictures of businesses. So this will be, so how many do we have? So we have 1 right here, 2 like this. So go ahead and copy and paste this. So do 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do 5. Now I'm going to go ahead and say for the very last one, I'm going to say image business.jpg. I'm just reading of what I have here. There's no real reason to the way I'm doing this right now. So what is image 2? I have a man, so let's do this man. Let's do man.jpg. And then do I have, what does this look like so far? Okay, so we have that. Okay, so we have a repeat here. So wherever our 4th one is, we need to change it. So shop, small business 3. Okay, so here where we have this one, we can just say small business 3, and then I'm going to go ahead and say .jpg. So now, if we've done everything correctly, we should have, so the one other thing I did is this is a .webp. I had it as a JPEG. So now, let's see what this looks like. So there's all the images, they're all new, and they're rotating through. One other thing is, again, if you want to go ahead and have a pause on hover, you can do that. But personally, I didn't like it, so I didn't necessarily include it. But yeah, all you would have to do is just go here, say pause, on hover, sort of thing. Alrighty, and now the other thing that we need to check is if it actually is mobile responsive. So let's go to a small size screen, and that is perfect. You're going to see that we have only one image be visible, which is exactly what we want. All right, very good, very good. And we got the shine coming in. Yeah, let's see what else we can start doing. So the next thing that we need to do is underneath here, we need to do a website design that works. We can go ahead and actually create that component right now. Okay, so it was a simple mistake on my end. Pretty much all I had to do is add a use client at the top, and then you will begin to start seeing everything work correctly. So if we were to replicate the error, it would look like this. So I would remove use client, refresh, and then you're gonna get this error. So again, just go to the top, say use client inside of a string, and then the error will go away. So the next thing I did after that is I just added in some images. So you guys can go ahead and download these from the GitHub repository, but these are just images that I found online, and then it just rotates through, and then I have them each pointing here. So yeah, so with that being said, that's the slider component done. We can go ahead and actually start building out this component right now. Let's go ahead into our into our app. Go ahead and create a file called we can just call it graphic design, like this, and then I'm going to say sfc graphic design. So I'm going to say hi, or yeah, div, and just say hi. Okay, and then now underneath this slider one, we can go ahead and import our graphic design. So I'm going to just say this, so graphic design. And then if I go back into our localhost 3000, you're going to start seeing it's going to say hi. So scroll to the very bottom. Let's see, why is this not visible? Let's go back into this graphic design. Oh, I spelled this. Have I spelled this wrong? Okay, so for starters, I spelled this wrong, so let's fix this. Graph like that. And then let's do this right here. So should be, yeah, there is a hi here. If I highlight over, you can kind of see it. But let's go ahead and just make the text white so it's very clear. So class name text white, and then you're gonna be able to see it. So again, it is right here. So we see the hi. Alrighty, and now I'm gonna go back and resize everything. And let's go into our website design. And actually, before we go ahead and do, let's see what is the best way of doing this. Okay, we can just say this, div, let's go back into our page.tsx. Where we have this, pretty much, we want to go ahead and copy and paste it. So go ahead and copy and paste everything down to this p tag, and then go back into your graphic design and then just paste it. You're going to get an error saying that you're missing a div, and that's completely fine. So just add a div to close everything up. And then I'm going to go back over here, and then you can go ahead and see it for yourself. So instead of saying this, we want to say website. Hold on, wait a second. We have tremendously, I made a mistake here. So here, we want to say website design. And I want to say that works. Not sure why this looks so weird. Okay, website design that works. And then I want to go ahead and I want to change the colors. So from, let's just say from purple, let's do 500. And then I want to do to sky 200, like that. So now we have that kind of gradient look going on here. From sky 200. Curious as to why this looks a lot. I need to refresh. I don't know, this color to me looks a lot brighter than what we have here. I'm gonna do, let's do sky 100, make it super bright. Website design that works, should be, okay. So I think this is fine for now. If not, I'm just gonna go ahead and double check with this. So copy paste this class name, and okay, yeah, so for some reason this is the difference maker. So do text for Excel, medium text 7 Excel, text center, text transparent, sort of thing. And then you will have what we need. So the next thing is for this text to be, instead of that, we want this. Okay, and there we go. So okay, so now the colors are matching up, everything looks good. So we just had a little small hiccup there with some styling. But then pretty much after this, what we need to go ahead and do is we need to say this. So I want to search this website up, and you're just going to copy and paste some code with me. So search up flowbit or flowbyte.com. Go to export components, scroll pretty much all the way to the bottom, and it's going to be just a little bit right here. So it's called Gallery Masonry. So go ahead and click on that. And then you can pretty much just copy and paste everything. So not this one, but this one here. This is the one I use in my project. You can go ahead and copy and paste everything here. So to save you some time, again, just head to the GitHub repository and copy and paste everything, because yeah, it's just gonna save you a lot of time. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to go underneath this div here, and I have already made some edits to what we need it to look like. So I can just go ahead and say this. I'm just gonna paste everything, and I'm going to import image. So import image from next image, just like that, and then we should be good to go. Let's see what we're missing here. Should be a little bit, we have a bit of an issue here. So this, scroll to the bottom, I believe we're missing a div. Yeah, so we're missing a div. And the second thing that you're gonna get an error for sure, and that's because all of these images are coming from this specific link. So we need to configure that on our end right here, where it says you need to add this to your next config. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna go to my, scroll all the way down to next config, and then I wanna include this in the domain. So here, I wanna say this. So next config, I'm gonna say images, like that. Open up an object, and you can, instead of saying res.cloudinary, we need to say this one. So so go ahead and copy this and go back into here and just say that. And this is going to take a second to load. So what I would recommend doing is closing both your terminals and rerunning it. So click new terminal. So let's say npm run dev. All right, now once we reload, we are going to see that we have everything working as anticipated. So the error is going to go away, and then you're going to go ahead and get the animation with the spotlight. It looks a little bit weird now, I won't lie to you, but there you go. You can see that we have our images working like that. So I'm going to quickly go back into the page.tsx, and I'm going to fix up this spotlight because I think it looks a little bit weird. So let's go to here and let's do 200 or 100. Okay, let's do 200. And then I want to say, yeah, okay, so I'm just going to leave it like that, but pretty much looks a little bit off. Okay, that looks fine now. And there you go. So now we have this component done, and everything looks the exact same here. The next thing that we want to go ahead and do is we want to go ahead and create a website, not website, but graphic design. So here we're going to be using Aceternity for some components. So let's just jump right into that. I go into here, I'm going to create a new component. I'm going to call it, okay, so here was the big mistake that I made. So this one, graphic design, rename it to website design. So I had my files wrong, and it was confusing me when I was looking like at the code, like the production code. So website design is just rename it to that, and then change your component. So instead of calling it graphic design, call it website design. Because again, we're gonna go ahead and create a component now called graphic design, and we obviously want the content to be related. So website design, go back into your page.tsx, and then at the very bottom where it says graphic design, go ahead and update it to be website design. So like that. And then now, when we have website design that works, it's going to have a component that matches what it needs to be. So website design that works. All right, now with that being said, we can go ahead and create a new file and we can call it graphic design. Just like this, graphic design.tsx, sfc, make sure I close this, and then I'm going to say graphic design now. Say div, again, I made the same mistake with the graphic. So sfc, spelled this wrong again. Design. And see, why is it? Okay, I'm just going to do this like this. So I'm going to say hi, and then I'm going to go into my page.tsx, and I'm going to add in our graphic design. So underneath the website design, I'm going to say graphic design. Okay. Very good, very good. We have everything working accordingly, and we can go ahead and start adding some stuff in. So inside of our graphic design, we're pretty much going to go ahead and copy and paste the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then I'm going to add a div. So again, this is the exact same thing that we just had. I just changed the text. So go ahead and go into your website design, and then just copy and paste this again. Okay, so back into graphic design. Let's see what this looks like. All right, so we have graphic design right there. Fantastic. Now the next thing that we want to go ahead and do is we want to create a div. So we'll do this, and then we're going to say class name, items are going to be centered. The MD is going to be flex. The justify center is going to be MD MX auto. MD is going to be space X10, and I'm going to do a motion div. So I'm going to go ahead and say that. I'm just going to copy and paste it to save some time. So motion div, and then I want to close the motion div, so like that. And here we need to go ahead and use a component. So it's going to be called 3D card demo, like that. Okay, so we don't have this component, and we also don't have our motion div, so we can go ahead at the top and we can import it. So go to the very top, say use client, and then go ahead and say import motion from framer motion. Okay, so here is going to go away for the motion div, but we're not going to have this 3D card defined. So let's go back into Aceternity and let's find out where we have the cards. So okay, so this is the one card here, the Evervolt. We're going to use that, but the first one I want to use is the not this. I don't know if I maybe scrolled past it. Let me quickly check. Oh, it's right here, the very first one. So 3D card effect. So this is the one we're going to go ahead and use. And then the same thing with the spotlight. We don't need to do these two, but we need to create a component, and we need to call it 3D card. So UI, we'll do, what did they name the file? So 3D card.tsx, like that. Go ahead, expand it, copy it, and then go ahead and paste it. And then I'm going to go ahead and fix the very top. So say @lib utils, just like this, and it's going to go away. And then we can go ahead and actually import it. So let's do that. So 3D card. Let's see. Let's go back to 3D card. So this is a 3D card, and this is actually a nice thing that we need to change. So here in our demo, so this is a nice one. We can also use this if we want, but we can copy and paste the actual code for whichever one we want. So go ahead and click on code here, and we want to create a new folder, and I want to call it, you can call it snippets, you can call it previews, anything to signify like code related to this specific animation. So I'm going to go ahead and just call it snippets, because we're going to be copying and pasting it. So create a new folder, call it snippets, and then go ahead and create a component or a file called we'll do 3D card snippet.tsx. And then this is actually going to go ahead and give us all of the code that we need right here. So all I've done is I went, instead of preview, click on code, and then copy and paste this. And then I'm going to paste it right there. And one thing that we need to change is where this is coming from. So we can fix that up in a second. But the first thing I want to go ahead and change, instead of calling it 3D card demo, which is what we could, I'm going to go ahead and remove this quickly, but instead of calling it 3D card demo, we can just call it 3D card snippet, like, or example. We can call it 3D card, 3D card example like this. Okay, and let's fix this up. So instead of coming from the slash, do at components like this, and this is exactly how. So make sure you have add components UI 3D card, and then let's go back into graphic design, and then we can actually import this specific function. So what we have it here is what we're going to be importing it as. So 3D card example, and then now if we go back into our localhost 3000, you're going to go ahead and see that we actually okay, so images are, so the same thing that we did before with the flow byte. We need to go ahead and add this domain. So scroll to the very bottom. Let's go to next config, and then let's do this, just like that. And then we need to go ahead and shut down the application. So I'm going to say npm run dev again. Okay. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and let's refresh this now. See, we should have the domains be set now. Okay, and it is, which is good. So now you can go ahead and see that we have the image here floating around, and we didn't actually have to do any coding. All we did was just copy and paste, and then we just changed a couple things. So this is pretty cool, and we've already gone ahead and done this one. So that's very good. Now the next thing that we need to go ahead and do is import the other component. So the other component is going to be, so was it this one? Let's see, I believe it was, over here. So it's the Evervolt card. So pretty much the exact same thing. Go down, create a file called Evervolt card. So here, UI, do Evervolt card.tsx. Go ahead and copy all this code. It's right here. And I'm going to paste it. And then right here, we're going to have the same error again. So just fix it up. So lib utils, it's going to go away. And then inside of our snippets, we need to go ahead and create another snippet. So I'm going to call this Evervolt card snippet.tsx, and then I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste the code. So go into your code, copy it, and let's go into here, and then let's paste it. So we need to fix this again. So do @/components like this, and so then we have our code snippet, and then we can actually go ahead and use this. So instead of calling it card demo, let's just call it card snippet. So that's a little bit easier to kind of understand. So go back into graphic design, and then here, pretty much just go ahead and copy and paste this like that. And then instead of being 3D card example, we want to use the Evervolt. So Evervolt card snippet, just like that. And then now, once we go back ahead and go into our application, you're gonna see we have like the nice spotlight come into effect, and we now have our card. So this is perfect. The next thing that we need to go ahead and do is just kind of play around with the styles so that it doesn't look too like it's too dark right now. You're not able to kind of tell the difference. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to wherever this is. So if I'm not mistaken, all we gotta do is not this, keep that the same, go into wherever we have, where's the BG here? Card pattern. So first thing first, the text needs to be white. So there we go. Then we need to remove the dark BG black, BG white 08. Okay. This shouldn't be. Okay, so I think, okay, for starters, I'm just gonna go ahead and we don't have a dark mode, so I'm gonna remove this conditional class. So dark here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and remove this text black. So that's all I did is I just made the text a bit white. So you can see the plus signs are now white. And then here, I'm gonna do the same thing. So dark, I'm gonna remove the text black. Here, dark, again, removing that. And I'm just going to remove this. Okay, now if I'm not, watch me hover, so text is going to be white, so we can just remove this again. Watch me hover. Okay, now we need to figure out why this is, let's do this. Border, okay, we got the border now. Still not sure why this is, if we look at our finished one, actually, never mind, what am I talking about? This is actually how it looks. So I thought we had done something a little bit wrong there, but it turns out to not be the case. And yeah, you now have the same thing. Okay, this is good, this is very good. And of course, you guys can obviously go ahead and change the images that you want. It's pretty simple, as well as the text. It's all there for you guys to change. Cool, so now the next thing that we need to go ahead and do is create, let's see, this Shopify Stores one. So we can go ahead and actually do this. We can go ahead and say, create a new component, so create a new file, we'll call it Shopify Stores.tsx, and then I'm gonna go ahead and say sfc Shopify Stores, and then I'm gonna go ahead and say div, just like that, hi. And then I want to go ahead and immediately just go to the very top and just say use client. So use client like this. And then I want to say import images, or import image, sorry, from next image. And then I'm going to import a certain font so that the font, like when we render the font, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So import Laura from, again, I'm not sure why I keep getting this bracket. So let's just say const font exactly like this, so that now when we render the font, it's going to be a little bit different. You can kind of see it here. Or I might have actually removed it. Let me see. Yeah, I've actually removed it, so we don't even need it, to be honest. But pretty much what it is right here. You can see how this font is a little bit different. That's pretty much what it has to do with. So I'm just gonna go ahead and actually remove the font here because it's not necessary. So I'll just go ahead and keep the image, and then yeah. So I'm just gonna copy and paste this code here. Pretty much all it is it's an array, and the array here is called stores, and it points to certain images that I have already installed. Here again, just go into the GitHub repository and just download all of them, and then you'll have the same images as me. But pretty much I just have a quote, bird show just how to get started, what to do, simple text, very simple array here. And then we're just going to loop through them. So before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and just, again, copy and paste this here so we can save some time. So here, the return needs to have a closing tag here. I'm just going to say this. Alright, so I will break down this code so you have an idea of what's going on. So to start, all I've done is I just added a background. So this background color is what's going to be, actually let's just import it so we can see what's going on. Let's go into page.tsx and then import Shopify Stores. Okay, so let's give this a second to load here. Let's scroll down. Again, let me just make sure that this is the right size. Okay, so all I've done, I'm going to scroll down, is after the graphic design, I created like pretty much like a big box. And the big box here is this background. So I'm just using this. Let's go, I'll show you exactly what the code is doing. So all I did is I added a margin 10 so that it's a little bit spaced out. And then here I have the just the color. You can go ahead and change it to whatever you want. So if I change it like to this, for example, you're going to see it's going to change to that color. So I'm just going to go back to what I originally had it as, which is like this kind of like light gray. Then all I did is I rounded it 3XL so that on the corners it looks like that. And then yeah, so then here is the exact same thing that we've been doing this entire time with the graphic design. I just copied and pasted all of this code here, and then I put it into here, and I just changed the text. So this is all the exact same. The only thing that's a little bit different is I just changed the color so that the Shopify Stores, because it's on a gray background, I want to keep it black, so that's a little bit more visible. But other than that, it's the exact same thing. Then I'm going to show you here. What I'm doing is I'm looping over an array. So I'm pretty much just saying that we're going to have an image first. So it's going to be a flex call. We're going to have an image. So that's going to refer to this right here, which is being redirected. So you see where the source is source.image. That's coming from this array, which is what I have here on my sidebar. So images, image 2 is coming from here. So this image right here is what's being populated. And then it's going to do that for the next one, which is going to be shop 2, and so on and so forth. So that's how it is that. And then I also added in the quote as well as who said the quote. And these are made up quotes, so you guys can obviously change it to be whatever you want. But I hope that kind of makes sense. This is a very simple component. If you have any questions or you're confused about anything, just feel free to jump in the Discord. But I feel like this one's pretty straightforward. Okay, so with that being said, we can go ahead and jump into the next one, which is brands, which is pretty much the exact same thing. But yeah, let's just jump in right away. So go to back into your app, create a new file, call it brands, so .tsx, like that, and then go ahead and just say sfc brands. Let's say div, let's say hi, and then underneath where I have Shopify Stores, I'm going to say brands, just like that. Okay, then the next thing I want to go ahead and do is I want to say this. So I'm going to go into brands, and I'm actually going to import a lot more stuff. So again, I'm going to go to the very top of this component, and again, I'm just going to copy and paste the stuff that we're importing to save some time. So pretty much here, what we're doing is we're importing, we're going to be using the image. Of course, we're going to be using React. This is what I was meant to do in the previous component with the Laura being a different font. So again, this refers to this part right here. Okay, and then we have some logos here. So exact same thing that I'm doing in the previous component where I have these images. These are just going to be logos instead. So for logos, you guys can go back into Logo Ipsum and then just download all of them. We've already done one for the Navbar, but you can go ahead and just download some more. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag and drop these logos in, and then I can kind of explain exactly what's going on. So here we have this. wait a second. So yeah, okay, so here, go all the way down to where I have a logo, and I'm gonna go ahead and just, let's see what's going on. So logo, I'm just gonna copy and paste these. Give me a sec, guys. Like this. So I'll just drag and drop them in. Again, these are all available for you guys in the GitHub repository. So there you go. And then now what we have is we have all of the logos successfully pointing to what they need to be pointing to. So you see how they're mapped up nicely. So logo Ipsum 248 is right here. You guys can kind of get it from there on out. Then let's go back into our brands, and then I want to pretty much, again, I'm just going to copy and paste the same thing. So I'm just going to change the text up a bit. So here I'm going to go ahead and say this. So again, this is all the same titles. All of these class names are the same as what we've previously been doing. And then I'm going to go ahead and say, so the best brands choose us. And then all I'm doing is I'm going to map over them. So I'm just going to say this. Just going to copy and paste this here. So outside of this p tag, I want to go ahead and say this. So grid calls 3, scroll to the bottom, and then you can go ahead and start seeing the images where we have. So we have an error here, so one of the logos did not successfully make it, so we will just change it to be, well, let's just do logo scroll. Let's do logo.svg. See, let's reload. Okay, it didn't work either. I must have made a mistake here. Logo / logo svg. Let's see, logo bird. This one won't work because it's black. You won't be able to see it. But let me just check. Oh, so okay. So this is the issue. I'm in the wrong one. So here, this where it says sleekest, I didn't import this one. So I'm just gonna do. You can just copy and paste. It can be any of them really. I'm just gonna copy and paste this one. Sure. So there you go. So you have, unfortunately, we have the same logo twice here. But again, you guys can go and grab any logos you want. Okay, so pretty much all I'm doing is I'm putting it in a column of 3. You guys can see that here. And then I'm just spacing them out and then putting them in the middle. Alrighty, so instead of saying all time, we just say logo. Okay, so we have that everything there. And there we go. The next thing that I want to go ahead and do is I need to import the font. So this portion of it right here, we can go ahead and just say this right here. So, okay, this needs to be all on one line, I forgot. So flex, item center, justify center, text XL. On extra large size screens, I want it to be text 2XL, so like a laptop or bigger. I'm gonna make it the font white. And then again, if I scroll to the very bottom, you can kind of start seeing things come together here. So we got rid of nearly a dozen tools, just like that. And then here's gonna be the last part where we're gonna go ahead and talk about the name. So I'm just gonna do this here, and this is going to refer to not the Canva logo, but just logo. Let's see what this looks like. And there you go. So we have a logo with a name and then a quote. All right, so you built out the entire brands component. Again, I hope that was pretty straightforward. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section or Discord or wherever, and I'll be there to answer. But again, I feel like this was a pretty simple component, so I didn't want to waste too much time on it. All right, then the next thing that we need to go ahead and do is we need to create the card. I guess we could call it, so it's this portion of it right here. So we can call it like services. So let's go into our app, not new folder, but let's go create a new file, and we're gonna call it services. And then this is where we're going to be using that like card hover effect animation. So SFC I'm gonna call it services, say div, say hi, and then I'm gonna go ahead and import right away. So underneath brands, I want to go ahead and import services. So just like that. And again, these should all be very consistent. So you should see that it's like dot slash, because again, it's all in the same folder. Or at least that's how I have it laid out. You guys might have it a little bit differently. All right, so there we go. So now let's go ahead and go to the bottom. Again, the high is right there, but it's very dark because we haven't changed anything yet. So the first thing that we want to go ahead and do is we want to go into, what's it called again? We want to go ahead and copy and paste our text again. So just like this, let's go into services, and then we can just change like this. So remove this, and we can remove that. I'm going to close this sidebar, and I'm going to break this up. So again, nothing special here. The exact same thing that we've been doing for all these components is what we're doing down here. So streamline your business with our services. The one other thing that I need to change is we need to make this a, go to the very top, it's a class name max width 5XL. We're going to make this a MX of auto and then a PY of 20, so it's a little bit more spaced out. So there you have it. And again, it's very difficult for me to program and then also show you guys what's going on, but try my best here. So I'm going to try to keep this more on one screen so you guys can really see what's going on. So there we go. We have our brands, and then we have this like that. Okay, so the next thing that we need to go ahead and do is we need to create our hover effect component. So again, I'm just gonna go back into here, components, wherever we have hover effect. Let's see, not layout grid. It's going to be right here. So hover effect. So again, let's scroll to the bottom. It tells us what to do. Card hover effect is going to be the name of the component. So we can go ahead and say UI. We'll do card hover effect .tsx. Let's go ahead and just copy and paste this. Let's paste it like that. Let's go to the very top. Say @lib utils. There we go. So we have everything it's kind of set right now. And then what we need to go ahead and do is just copy and paste this code again. So let's go into here and into snippets. We can go ahead and say card hover effect.tsx. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this. So if I'm not mistaken, we got to call it something else. Okay, so yeah, we forgot to add snippet. So do snippet like that. Sorry. Paste all the code again, and then it's going to say the same error. So we're doing add components just like this, and there we go. So we now have kind of everything looking good here. We got everything, yeah, looks proper. The next thing that we want to go ahead and do is I actually want to add in a feature. So if you look at the finished version, I also have like an emoji here, or not an emoji, an icon with like a background. And I felt like that like kind of adds like a nice touch to what we want to build. But let's just see what it looks like right now. So let's go into our, so we have our services, and then we can go ahead and import our, so we'll do this, so import, what was it, I think it was hover effect, a card hover effect demo, so just import that like this, and then you're going to be able to see it. So you're importing a component that uses useState, so if this is the case, then we just need to go to the very top, and just say use client. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Scrolling to the bottom, and okay, so we have everything looking good right now. We could technically leave it like this, but I do want to change some stuff up, so I'm going to show you how to do that now. So if I go back into the card hover effect demo, all I got to do is I got to change this to be, so all of them are going to have an icon, and then we're going to put a div here. So I'll just, again, to save time, I'm just going to copy and paste this here. And we're going to import the components at the, actually, let's just do this all at once. So again, just feel free to jump in. This is not like too technical stuff. So like, you're not like, there's no need to really kind of go over these things. I don't know how to explain it. Like, you definitely want to understand what's going on, but I feel like this is more of just a matter of doing more than showing here, considering kind of like what we're doing. I'll show you what I mean, but pretty much go ahead and install a package called npmi react icons, and then I can kind of explain like what's going on. So items, why is this? So it's giving me an error. So we need to go into hover effect, and that's because we added an icon. So just go ahead and icon, and it's going to be react.node, and then your error is going to go away. So that's the only thing that we added there, and then it's pretty much good to go after that. So here, if I'm not mistaken, this is just going to go away after a little bit of time. But pretty much what I'll do is I'll explain like what's happening. So what we need to do is we have this component called hover effect, and we need to essentially send in some props. So this is what the hover effect is expecting. So it's expecting an icon, a title, a description, and a link. So I think that's pretty straightforward. We can just get rid of the link straight up because we don't need it. What I think that's intended to do is if you click on something, it was going to redirect you. But I think for services, it's not necessarily important. Like, we don't need that for what we're doing. So what we can do is we can just remove, for example, this right here and change this to a div. All right. And then go to the very bottom and change this to a div as well. And then now we'll have a better, we have everything kind of like more, how do you say it? Like, we have everything working as intended. So the only thing that we need to do is we just need to say key is going to be item.title. And the reason why it's giving you this error is because it might not be satisfied. So just put a question mark like that, and then you're good to go. So now if we go all the way back down to the bottom, you're going to see that we have a bit of an issue with some of the things going on. Let's see what we got right now. So hover effect should be website design. So I'm just going to refresh. It looks like I got sort of like a bug here. At least I think it is. Let me check. Okay, so all we have right now is we don't have the actual icon appearing, but you can see that all the text has changed, and now we just need to make it accessible for the icons. So go back into hover effect, again, components UI card hover effect, and then here where we have our card, what we forgot to do is do div. We need to actually display like our item. So item.icon like this. And then I want to say class name flex items are going to be center. Now, there you go. You can see that we have everything working exactly as intended. You have our icons, and then once we go to a small size screen, they go back into a single kind of file line, which is perfect. So all we did again is we just changed the props to accept the icon, and then the icon is just getting displayed like that. And then if you want to go ahead and change the styling of them, I just did them right here. So BG blue, padding 4 rounds full, and then yeah, so that's pretty much it. Okay, so I mean, this component is pretty much done now. We can go ahead and start doing the FAQs. So FAQs, let's go ahead and create a, not in the snippets, but just in the app. go ahead and do FAQ.tsx. Okay, and we can go ahead and create a component, SFC, do FAQs, sure, div, we're going to say hi. Okay, and for this one we're going to be going ahead and using Shadcn UI. So to do that, let's head to Shadcn UI and let's install the accordion component. So like that, let's go to docs, go to components, and I believe, yeah, it is literally the first one. So add the accordion, just like that, control paste, and it's going to install. You're going to see it get installed in this component right here. So if we go into UI, should have installed right here. So underneath 3D card for me, it appears right here. So it's accordion, and then we're going to go ahead and add some styling to this. So again, let's go back into here, and let's just say what we need to. Let's go back into FAQ like this, and let's import some stuff. So this is going to come from directly from Shadcn UI. So I'll show you exactly where I got it from. But pretty much you go here to the code, and then you just install this like this. And then from here, what we can do is we can just go to the top, and we can install the accordion just like that. So now we have not installed, but we have it imported, I should say. Okay, and then here, I'm gonna go ahead and just copy and paste some class names so I can show you what's going on. So here down to here, I'm going to do this. So all I've done was literally, again, go ahead and check out the GitHub repository, but pretty much what I've done is I will go back, and this is the finished version. We have forgot to, or at least I forgot to display the FAQs. Let me show you services, FAQs, like that. So now, it's going to take a second to load here. You're going to see that we have this. Okay. So have questions, get answers, pretty straightforward. I just entered in some text. And now what we need to do is we need to actually style these components to look a little bit better. First thing I want to do is I want to go into the accordion here, and I want to add some styling. So where it says justify between, I want to say PT10. I want to do a padding bottom of 6, so PT10 padding bottom of 6. I don't want the font to be medium, I want it to be semi-bold. I will close up this as well. Semi-bold, okay. And then I want it to be text 2XL. For medium-sized screens, I want the text to be 4XL. And then the translation all can stay. That's fine. Here, the chevron down, I want this to change to the plus circle. So I want to say plus circle like that. So I just imported it. You can get rid of the chevron down. It's not necessary anymore. Chevron down, and then here I want to go ahead and say width is going to be 8, height is going to be 8, and we're also going to have different sizes for medium-sized screen. So MD is going to be H10. The MD is also going to be a width of 10. Okay, and we have everything nice. Now the next thing that we need to go ahead and do is we need to show, so here where we have this, go to the end where it says rotate 180 and change it to 45. And if I'm not mistaken, that should actually do everything. Let's check. Okay, and it does. So yeah, I mean, wait a second, why is this not working? Let me refresh my screen here. Should be able to, okay, yeah, so when you click on it, like one closes, and then you can also see the animation here on the plus sign where it gets rotated 45 degrees and it looks like an X. So I thought that was pretty clever when I was building this to kind of have something like that. But yeah, there you go. And now if I go ahead and resize to a mobile size screen, we get the same kind of effect right there. And again, you can go ahead and change everything else that you'd like. Cool. So I think with that being said, that kind of concludes this component. The last thing that we really need from this page is the ability to slide down as we click, and I think we can just jump right into that now. We're ready for it. So go into your page.tsx, wherever we were here, and go ahead and you're gonna go and create some functions. So const, where we have this, yeah, so here, I meant to do enter. We're going to have a bunch of functions. So we're going to say const, so we're going to say website design ref. So like that, and then it's going to say equals, we're going to import a use ref, so just like that, and then it's going to be the HTML div element. It's going to be null, like this. So again, make sure you have the use ref like this. Then we're going to have a graphic design. This is correct. We're going to have a Shopify Stores, brands ref, a services one, and that's it. So we don't actually need the services one because we don't have it. So pretty much what I'm doing is I'm just mapping whatever we have up here to the sections related to our content. So when I click on website design, it takes me to website design, brands, so on and so forth. So if you have different ones, you would probably include them, at least if they're on the landing page. So if they're on the first page, include them here. But yeah, so then the next thing we need to do is you're seeing here that we're going to get here. So I'm going to go ahead and try to keep this on one screen. I'm going to go ahead and say use, not caps, but use client, like that. Alrighty. Then now let's see. So it's going to take a second to load. Let's check, and okay, so we're good. So everything looks like it's working properly, which is good. So the next thing that we need to go ahead and do is we need to create some functions that are actually going to allow for the scrolling to happen. So again, I'm just going to copy and paste this so that we can save some time. But pretty much here, all I'm saying is const scroll to website design. So it's pretty straightforward. When I click on this website design, I want to scroll. So you can delete this part here. It's not necessary. But yeah, pretty much the behavior is smooth, and we're going to be using scroll into view. So yeah, again, rather straightforward component. So we have the different functions that we're going to be using now. Now that we can go ahead and actually use them. So go into your navbar, and we are going to create the props for this. So the navbar, and let's go ahead and create some interface props. So we're going to say interface navbar props, and again, I'm just going to save more time here. So all I'm doing is I'm creating props. So these are the names of the functions. So yeah, pretty much the scroll to website design is going to be a prop, so on and so forth. Then I'm going to go ahead and pass these props just like this. And so now it will be able to accept the prop. So when I click on, for example, here, when I go down to this, where I have website design, when I pass it to this on click, so say on click, it's going to say scroll to website design. And there you go. So it's being accepted, and then we can go ahead and do that for the rest of them. So it's on click, scroll to, this is going to be graphic design. Let's do this again. So on click, let's do Shopify Stores, scroll to Shopify Stores. And then I want to say on click, scroll to brands. Okay, so now what if everything was done correctly? I believe we should be able to allow this to happen. So if I go ahead and click website design, okay, nothing happens. Let's see what we're missing. Oh, so I know what it is. So Now, if you go back into your page.tsx, you're going to get an error, and that's because you have not passed these specific props. So again, let's see if I can get the autofill to load here, and there it is. So all we got to do is just like that. You're going to have the scroll to website prop is going to have accept this function, which is scroll to website design, which comes from right here, which pretty much just says once this website design ref, like once we're referring to that specific HTML element is in view, we're going to just scroll to it. So now when I click on website design, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to have some weird errors here. Let's see. Just going to refresh, but it should work. Oh, I know what it is. So this is again another foolish mistake by me, but pretty much what we have right now is we have not actually defined what the ref is for each of these elements. So this takes 2 seconds to do, but pretty much all we got to do is inside of website design, what we need to do is wrap it around a div. So we're going to say div, and I'm going to put a closing div like this, and I'm just going to say ref is going, not like that, ref is going to equal to website design ref, like that. And then now you're going to see once I click on website design ref, oh my goodness, I think I'm just bugged out completely here. Let's see again. Should be okay now. Okay, I think my thing is a little laggy right now. Let's see. It's current. There's nothing wrong with this. Need to see. I should have been prompted to scroll here. Let me figure out what this is. Oh no, it's okay. Never mind. Yeah. So I was gonna say it may take a second for it to work, but pretty much it was just a little bit of an issue there. So I'm gonna close down my localhost 3000 because I think I'm bugged out right now. But pretty much everything should be working the same. So I'm just gonna go ahead and copy and paste everything here because I have a pretty strong feeling that this is how it needs to work. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So Shopify Stores like that, and I'm gonna refresh this. So I'm gonna close all these because I don't need them, and I'm going to say this. So let's do close that. Let's just say npm run dev. So this is very normal when you're developing for like things to cache weird or some things not to load as anticipated, but I think for the most part we should be good here. Again, I don't know why this is even okay. That should be fine. Looks like it's taking a minute for the server to load. Okay, we got loaded in. It's still loading. Looks like it. Let's see. So if I click on website design, interesting, eh? For some reason, these are not loading in. So this must be a bigger issue. I'm gonna go ahead and figure out what it is. Give me 1 sec. I was actually able to figure it out. This was a pretty foolish mistake on my behalf. Everything was done correctly up here. If you have this, like that's perfect. The issue I had was I did not close this div where it says slider 1. So make sure you only have 2 divs here, and this gets closed, and then you can go ahead and start doing it like that. Because now when you go ahead and click it, everything works the same. So this is how it works. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I was missing there. Let me know if you guys, if that made sense. If you guys still have questions, feel free to jump in the Discord. But yeah, I mean, it's really just what the error was. Okay, so now we're actually able to go ahead and start building out the pricing, contact, and also the book a meeting page. Let's go ahead and let's start with the pricing. So if I click on pricing, we're gonna get an error right away, which is fine. So go into your app, create a new folder, and make sure it's called pricing, spelled exactly the same because that's how it's going to, like that, just using the file structure, that's how it has to be called. So see if I get my snippet here, SFC, I'm going to call it pricing. I'm going to say div, just like that, and there we go. So the next thing I want to do is I want to go into my pricing, and I want to import a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the very top and just import some stuff. So the navbar is not coming from there, it's going to be coming from here. So what we can do is we can remove this. We can also remove the align justify frame or motion, and we also don't have any images on this page. So just this is fine. I'm going to go ahead and click save. Okay. Yeah, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this array as well. So again, this is all available in the GitHub repository for free. This is the array. So again, let's try and see if I can make this a bit cleaner. Okay, so we have an array called plans. We have an index, a name, different types of features. A style is going to have a certain class name, description, as well as a by now. So pretty much what I'm doing is I am populating what I want this to look like here. Okay, so I have the plans there, and we can go ahead and actually start building some stuff. So let's see if we need anything here. Okay. First thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and enter in a class name. So here, this needs to be in a return. So make sure you have this like that. Like this. And then let's just, again, let's go back into our page.tsx. And then where we have this, we can just go ahead and copy and paste this again. Okay, so go back into that. Let's go into our, we can go into our pricing here, and we can just paste it like that. So there we go, we have the same class name for both pages, so that they're going to be the same color when you flip between the two. Okay. Now here, what I want to go ahead and do is I want to import the navbar again. So the same thing that I just previously had, again on the page.tsx. So where is it? Page.tsx. Go ahead and import this. So one thing about this one is it's actually going to be disabled on our, what was I going to say? It's going to be disabled on this page. So the reason why, you could technically make like a second navbar, but for this project I didn't feel like it made any sense. Pretty much when you go to this page here, these don't actually work because you're not on the landing page. But yeah, I mean, you could technically just change the navbar to be something else. But I feel like this website is specific for a lot of like mobile traffic, and so I feel like most people would kind of understand it. But yeah, it's not too big of a deal if you want to make another one, for example. Okay, so then from there, instead of saying this, these are just going to be empty functions because they're not actually going to do anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste again. So here, like that, and then we are going to have some styling. So I'm going to copy and paste this so it can kind of save again more time, but I'm just going to explain exactly like what's going on. So I will show you this, and then now once I go to localhost 3000 and we refresh it, you're going to see that we have everything lined up exactly how we intended. Looks like that. But I guess to explain here, what we need to do is we have our background, right? So that's pretty straightforward. We have our navbar. Again, you can create a different navbar if you want to, but for me, I think it's just fine. Then we're just going to center everything, so we're putting it just in the middle here. So this is just going to go in the middle like this, as well as this is just going to go in the middle like that. Then we are styling it. So again, very similar. We're saying we're going to put this in a grid calls 3 if it's a medium-sized screen or larger. And then we're also going to space it out with a gap 6, padding x6, so on and so forth. So here, if I change item start to items center, for example, let's see what this would do. Don't believe it'll change too much. If we refreshed it, yeah, it wouldn't necessarily make a difference. If I did, yeah, if you did anything like that. Okay. So in this case, I think it's completely fine to remove it, but just for simplicity, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it. So item start. Then I'm looping over the plans. So again, the plans come from here. So this is all the information. I am giving it a border. I'm rounding it, and I'm spacing everything out. So justify between there. And then the justify between, what it does is it pushes like this button to the bottom. So this is something that I did in a previous video where I had like different cards. If I were to go ahead and just quickly search one up, I don't know if it was in this one or not. Let me check. I don't think I did the price. Yeah, I didn't do the price for this one, but if I did this one, I went to pricing. I did this in a very weird way of having like each of these values to be like there's the same amount of check marks and everything, and I didn't want it to be like that. What else? What other website did I do? You see this one, test website. If you haven't watched these videos, go ahead and check them out. Yeah, so okay, you're not gonna be able to really tell, but pretty much what I did is no matter how much content you put inside of these cards, they are going to be the same height throughout. And so that's what this justify between does. And again, if you were just to remove it, I don't think it would look that good. So you can see how these are now like kind of out of sync. So that's what that does. So keep the justify between, and it's gonna push everything down like that. Alrighty. So, and then what I'm doing here is I'm applying the styles that I've kind of already rendered up ahead. So the plan.style, each of them have their own right here. You guys can obviously go ahead and change them to be whatever you want. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Then what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I have the name, again, the text, and I'm just saying if it is for the enterprise tag, I want the button to be, so like I only want there to be this if it is for an enterprise tag. So I'm conditionally rendering based on what the name of the feature is. So plan.feature, you can see, again, we have basic, premium, and then we have enterprise. So that's how I'm doing that. And yeah, so I'm making it blue. And again, here, I'm just mapping over everything. So I'm just saying, this is where I want the check marks to be. Again, there needs to be, these are all going to be green except for this, so on and so forth. So I think again, this is pretty straightforward stuff. And then here is where I have the stripe connect. So I'm going to show you how to do this in a second. But pretty much when you click on this, this actually takes you to a live product page that you can actually check out with. So this is a real checkout. You can, if you're looking to for a website and you want me to build it, you can go ahead and check this out and I can help you out with that. But yeah, and then again, I have another one here for a more expensive one. So I'm going to show you how to do this in a second. And then here I have a contact us page. So when you click on that, it's actually going to take you to a contact page. But for right now, I feel like this is pretty straightforward. Again, pretty basic styling here, not too complicated. So the next thing that we would need to go ahead and do here is we would need to actually build out the contact us page. So we can go ahead and do that. So let's create a new folder called contact us. So contact, and then I'm going to go ahead and create a page.tsx. So page.tsx, just like that. And then here I'm going to go ahead and import a bunch of stuff. So before we do that, I guess we have to go back to Aceternity UI because for this form, we're going to be using a lot of their stuff. So let's go to Aceternity UI, let's go to components, scroll down to form, and then let's install some stuff. So again, create a new terminal and wherever the CLI is. So right here, click npm and then paste that, just like that. We're also going to be needing a button, select, checkbox, and so many different other ones here. Text area, there's just a bunch really. So we can go ahead and pretty much just copy and paste this again, and then we can just say paste. I'm going to say add button like this. Let's see if this would work in one line. Select. Okay, whatever. We'll just do add button. Looks like we already have one from Aceternity UI. They already installed a button. Okay, so I'm just going to say no. We already have that. Do we have that already? Button? Okay, I guess we do, yeah. So we have the button there. So we can say this command line again, and then I'm just going to say checkbox. This is going to be a nice little checkbox that we can click. Unknown. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we got to do it like this way, I guess. I think it's okay. So I am just going to do them one by one. So we're going to use a checkbox. We're going to use select. So you can go down to the letter S. You can install this. I'm going to put the select as well. What we're going to do, we already have the form. We need input. So whatever that is, go ahead and grab that. Input, we're going to use text area. So down to letter T. We're going to go ahead and grab this. And then, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's, oh, we also have a toast. So, where's toast? Go ahead and grab the toast. Okay. So, looks like we have everything we need. We can go ahead and actually start adding some stuff in now. So let's go down to our contact here, and I'm going to go ahead and again just going to copy and paste everything because this is extremely similar to the website that we just made in the Notion clone. I mean, it's almost like a one-to-one clone here. So I'm just going to quickly kind of talk about it. If you guys are looking for more information, I kind of break it down in depth of what I'm doing in the previous video, but I will quickly just talk about it over here. So pretty much I have a use state, so pretty much it's going to check whether or not things are being filled out or not. So let me just click on, I click on contact us. Let's see what happens. Should get redirected to the contact page, and so I do. So I will show you. So here we have just basic text. This is looks like that when you're on another screen. So in this case, let me see. Okay, so I will explain what's going on. So here I'm creating a form schema, so I'm saying that these are the values that I want to be submitted. You can obviously change these to be whatever you want, but you have your first name, last name, email, job title, company name. We have a help, so this is going to be our actual text area, so that's going to refer to this right here when you type something in. Then we're going to have some company size, so these are going to be different values that you can pick between. So 1, 10, 11, 50, so on and so forth. Then we're going to have some values for the type. We're going to have type. Here, again, you're pretty much just ensuring that these are all going to be strings and everything gets satisfied. Okay, and then you're going to create a function called contact form in this case, and then the contact form is going to have two states, either it's being loaded or it's being submitted. So in this case, you have your first name, last name, email, and again. So I think this is pretty straightforward here. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to jump in the Discord or go ahead and just watch the Notion video. I talk about it more in depth, as well as the Loom clone, as well as the Asana clone. So then I have an endpoint, so whenever you actually submit something, we want to actually configure this to work. So we have that, and then here we just have the styling all throughout. So again, importing my navbar, and yeah, so again, not too different from what we've been doing on the channel previously. But yeah, go ahead and so when I go ahead and fill this out, you're going to see that it's not going to work. So I'm just going to say this, submit, and it's going to give me an error. So if I went to inspect and I went to network, I try this actually again, let's see. So if I click submit, you're going to see that it's at 404 because we don't actually have this API. So the next thing that we need to go ahead and do is we need to actually go ahead and create an API. So this is not too difficult. Again, we've done this a bunch of times on this channel. Create a new folder called API. Then create a contact folder. So not a new file, but create a new folder called contact. And again, make sure that this contact is the same, or the name of this folder is the same thing of what you put here. So if yours is, let's say keyboard, you need to make sure that this is keyboard here, and it has to be spelled the exact same. Then I want to go ahead and do route.ts, and then here I'm going to do a basic route. So I'm going to copy and paste the route because, again, we've already done this stuff before. But yeah, pretty much what I'm using node mailer to send the email. So I'm just going to say npmi node mailer. It's going to ask me to install some dev dependencies. I'm going to give it a second to load. Give it a little bit here. But I guess in the meantime, so I have a post request. So this means that I'm trying to send something. I'm going to have a first name, last name, email. These are going to be the values that are going to be accepted. And then let's just run this. So npmi like that. Okay, I'm going to close out of this. We're going to have a transporter. This is all node mailer stuff, so this is why they're doing that. Here you're going to have a different user and password. And I'm going to show you how to do this now. So, and now I'm just styling the email here. So this is pretty basic styling. And then I'm just going to send the email, or I'm just console logging whether or not it's been sent. So how to get this right here, I'm going to show you. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this off of the screen for a second here. And first thing you're going to want to go ahead and do is search up a website called Account Google, and then click Go to Google Account. I am going to, so this is what you have right here. Search up something called app passwords. So one other thing that I want to add before we go ahead and do this is it's not possible to get to this like part of the screen unless your thing is two-factor authenticated. So make sure you have that, or else you're not going to be able to create an app password. So here I'm just going to say tutorial web agency, and then it's going to give me a key. So I'm just going to copy and paste this key. So I'm going to say done. I'm going to go back into here, and then now once I go ahead and paste it, you guys went ahead and seen the key. You guys will have your own key. Make sure to put that in there. And then when I go back into my actual application, so here I'm going to go ahead and submit this. You're going to go ahead and see that I actually have this working. So I'm going to click submit, and then it's going to say we received your inquiry, and we will be contacting you shortly. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go a step further here and show you my Gmail account. So this is my Gmail account, and this is what I got prompted with. So this was the text area that I filled out, the value I selected, how big the company was, and yeah, pretty much all the values I submitted right here. So that is the contact form. I'm gonna go, yeah, I mean, if you guys have any questions about this, feel free to jump in the Discord, but again, I feel like it's pretty straightforward. So yeah, we can go ahead and just jump into the next component. And again, let's see if this is all working correctly. So yeah, when you click on this, pricing takes you to pricing. You click on contact, takes you to contact, which is nice. And then this is actually going to be the last thing, which is book a call. So here we're going to need to go ahead and create a new folder. So this one's called book. So we can go ahead and create a new folder called book like this. And then I'm going to do a page.tsx. So you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but if you have a Calendly account and you're looking for like a little bit more professional approach, you can definitely follow along here. But okay, so here we have div like this. I'm going to say hi, and then I'm going to go ahead and configure some stuff. So here is going to be the function. So I'm going to show you how I did all this. So just like this. And so first thing you're going to want to go ahead and do is put use client at the top. And then you're going to install this package called React Calendly. So again, only follow along if you have a Calendly account, but just do npmi react Calendly like that. Okay, then pretty much I'm just importing the navbar, so the navbar does its thing. See what it makes me do. Should go away after a bit, I think. I'm just making some basic styling, so this is the same thing that we did before. Okay, it went away, which is good. We have our navbar, again we have basic text here, and then we have our inline widget. So the way that you find out your inline widget is you go to your Calendly account, like this. If you don't already have one, go ahead and sign up. It's a pretty cool appointment scheduling software. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign in. I'm gonna see if it's gonna ask me for some passwords. And pretty much all you gotta do is, you're gonna get to a page like this, or if you have it, it might say create or something. Maybe event type, one-on-one. I'm just trying to think, yeah, so you could just do like something like this, 30 minutes, I'm gonna change to 15. I'm just gonna say okay. So let's see if this works, your event type, okay. I'm gonna go back and click done. I'm just imagining what it would look like. And so here it is, so this copy link, all you gotta do is go into your inline widget, it's going to accept a URL, go ahead and just paste it. And so now, when I go back into my application, and I go back to this specific page, you gotta take a second to load, but you're gonna see that I actually have a fully functional calendar that you can actually book meetings with, and you can actually talk to people. So I'm gonna go ahead and change it back to the one I was previously using, because I like it. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a free trial. If not, again, it's not too important if you don't follow along to this point, but yeah, so there you go. And now I'm gonna go ahead and check out. So this is my local, I'm gonna check everything out here. Okay, nice. Yeah, okay, so I think that's it for me, guys. That concludes the end of this tutorial. Let me know if you guys have any questions about anything that we built in today's video. And also let me know what you guys think about this approach to YouTube videos, where I'm more kind of just copying and pasting and kind of talking about the code, explaining what's going on, more than actually like manually typing everything out. Because I find like when I'm watching back the videos, like it becomes a little bit more tedious, and I can see why some people might not like that, and they're looking to just kind of understand more. But yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts are, what your guys' thoughts of this build were. I mean, any feedback would obviously be super appreciated. And yeah, I will catch you in the next one. See ya. So I almost forgot. One thing that I left out was the actual Stripe. So I'm going to show you how I did that. So what you have to do is go to your Stripe account. This is pretty straightforward. So Stripe, go to your dashboard, see. And okay, so if you don't have a Stripe account, go ahead and quickly make one. Pretty much just go to your product catalog, create a product. So in this case, I'm going to say add product. I'm going to say tutorial. I'm going to say this is a test. You guys can obviously go ahead and do anything you want. I'm going to go ahead and say this is going to cost 10 bucks. You guys can change how you want the currency to be. So I'm going to say $10 US, and I'm going to make it one-off. And then I'm going to say add product. It's going to ask me for my password. Okay, and then once, I'm going to give it a second here to load, but pretty much it's going to go ahead and give me a link. So I'm going to click into tutorial right here. And I'm going to go down to, actually no, payment links instead, sorry about that. And create a new one, so new. And it's going to ask you what product you want to create a product link for. So in this case, I'm going to do the tutorial one. I'm going to just click through everything, and I'm just going to say create link. It's going to go ahead and give me a link right here. And then pretty much all you have to do is go into your actual code here, and you just have to paste it. So wherever the, let's see where it was. So the pricing here, I had it. So index equals 0. So this is the first one. If I wanted this to be, so this is going to be the tutorial link now. I'm going to go ahead and run this. So I'll show you. So if I did localhost 3000, you're now going to see that the payment link is going to redirect to the one that's $10. So I'm going to go to pricing. Let's see what it says here. Pricing, and then remember I clicked on this one, so it's gonna say $10, and that's because I just added that. But yeah, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch it back to my previous product link, which is this one. But yeah, and then you guys can go ahead and do that for the next one, and so on and so forth. So however many products you guys have. Okay, so that is pretty much it. I guess another thing that we could do is we could just deploy to Vercel. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this, just anything really. Click that, and then it's going to ask me if I wanted to make it a public or a private. So I'm gonna make it public so that you guys can see it. It's going to push. So I'm just gonna say, so I got this message right here saying successfully published. So what we could do is we can go to Vercel. We don't want to go to the analytics. We just want to go to. We can actually just technically add the Vercel analytics too, because why not? It just takes a couple seconds. So here, all you got to do is go into your repository, close this out, and then just run this command. So I'm gonna add the Vercel analytics just like that. And then I'm going to import it. So wherever the, see where this is here. So go into your, what is it called? Go into your layout.tsx, and then you want to import the analytics. So from here, so we can just say analytics like this. Oh, analytics, and then we're going to import it just like that. So go to the very top of your layout.tsx, and then just paste it like that. And just like that, you now have a fully functioning analytics. So anytime anybody goes on your website, or you're looking to send traffic to or from a certain, maybe like Instagram or Facebook or wherever you're having this website kind of be marketed on, you're gonna be able to track that too. So let's go to here. And now what we can do is we can just push. So we can say this is final. So actually we'll just call it final, and then say finished. So we're just gonna sync our changes. And there we go. So if we've done everything correctly, we can actually go to the Vercel now, and we can add new. So add a project. It's going to ask us to import a repository. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to give this a little bit of time actually before we go ahead and do that, because I noticed it hasn't officially pushed to GitHub yet. So I'm just going to wait a couple seconds here. But yeah, pretty much anytime you make a change with this method, it's going to work like instantaneously. It says updated just now. Okay, so if I were to refresh this, I think it should say updated just now. Okay, it hasn't, it's fine. But yeah, so this is the code. And yeah, maybe one other thing we could change the name of it to, let's see, file. All right, well, anyways, whatever. So I'll leave it like this, and then now I'm gonna go back to Vercel. Let's see what it says. Add new project. Okay, I'm just gonna import it. We have no environment variables or any kind of staging outputs, so we can go ahead and just click deploy. And we're gonna give it some time to actually load. And if we did everything correctly, we should have everything kind of be up and ready and with no problem. So let's just kind of wait around and see. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and promote the Discord. So again, feel free to jump in here. This is where pretty much all the website ideas come from. If you guys are looking for certain things that you were looking to hopefully kind of trying to learn, or you need help with anything, feel free to jump in. We're always in here talking, trying to help people out. So if you guys have any cool video ideas, or you want to see me build something, this is going to be the place where I'm going to be most responsive. So yeah, just jump in, join the community, and just hang out. So yeah, I mean, why not? So I'm gonna give this a couple more minutes. I don't think it'll be too much longer. It's not too big of a project. But yeah. Okay, looks like, and just as I finished talking, it finished. So looks like we kind of have everything. Okay, so we got the congratulations. Let's go to continue to dashboard. And this is going to be our domain. So if I go ahead and I click on this, you're going to now see we have our website that we just created in full effect. So if I click on website design, graphic design, Shopify Stores, and brands, we have all that functionality working. And yeah, this is pretty cool. We have everything as expected, contacts, everything looks pretty cool. So, okay, I think with that officially being said, that's it for me for the end of this video. Leave a like, comment, and please subscribe. It'll help me out a lot. And of course, yeah, jump in the Discord. And I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya!